but no a pure, and I call it a Ghanaian, ancestrally everything. But by virtue of nationality as in documented there, ukra Togolese identity. But if you talk about, call it a tribe, and then a lineage, you know, oberhena or ya aflao. It's a complexity. So normally when you're dealing with matters like that, and it comes to politics and in elections, one would deal and ask her, a himfa nationality ben the crown. Nationality ben. That is where you strike the healthy balance. The nationality in the crown. No. There is nothing called dual nationality on the borders unless otherwise stated. How is it stated? Stated say, ne papa ye Togolese, ne mami ye Ghanaian. Inti ubaka say, or ye dual citizen. Okay. Dual citizen or ye no. Ghana ni Togo, ye ni nationality marriage in terms of passport or identity. Some moti border ninti no, okwa house mi Ghana ni, okwa house mi Togo, ye ni saadie no. So ukra Togo national identity card so remain as such. Typically la Côte d'Ivoire border, oko the Apollos, the Nzema belts na eko Elubone, sa Aboaso, even Côte d'Ivoire first bigger than Aboaso. Virtually oha kasa wotia Ghana. Predominantly, Nzema ne even Fanti languages and out in ho. But you cannot claim say ukra Togolese Ghana ID card ekra at the same time Côte d'Ivoire. You choose the one that you belong to. But when it comes to the lineage and the citizenship, in terms of say may Ivorian there, the identity card, the national identity card, you know, that was specified by Bia Ofri in terms of nationality. But the Kobase, the African settings called a family. The family we family finraba omo crosso. Bibiba omo the same thing. Ebu a okra na or your border na ne hene no e wa ha. But ono so wa ha se e wo ho. Let's look at and bring that one into governance. And let's bring that one into country. Na yam famra in politics. When it comes to politics, there's always a strict line. The strict line is that, yes, because of elections, Togolese or Ivorian or Burkinabe, on time to elections, Burkina, no same to Ghana. On time to no Côte d'Ivoire, on same to Ghana. On time to Togo, no me to Ghana. Ghana so time to Ghana, no to Togo. Vice versa, all the three. This typical example it is in Europe, a strategic and a very funny border in a German town called Garmisch. Garmisch is a center of three borders, meeting three. Switzerland is a triangular border, Austria and Germany. So the people from Garmisch, or link all the three countries, but he cannot vote in the three countries. Okay. We call the Austrian border with Switzerland Main, Bregenz and Buch. The Bregenz people are Austrians, Buch is Swiss. But if you look at their lineage, any their colony and then the ancient Swiss and then ancient the Hungarian Empire now. Okay, the Bohemia. Omo ye nipa baako, but nationality abe separate you. Europeans here, they've accepted. Do you understand? But yenye dia no, and the problem kakraba. Na dia kama na kusi say, there's a case on hand. Yeye elections. Yeye border control or border patrol, whichever. To me, I think civility, the missions of civility, and the two countries have not properly applied. The mission of civility, and it say, oh, Ghana, now you're Ghanaian, nothing should make you cross over. Say, Ukra Ghana, nationality, identity card, but for the sake, say, Ubibi, Togo, and now say, O family Togo, Ntino, election draw kwa SCM out. It is not like that. That one let us establish like that. The same thing like Burkina, the same thing like the other side. However, say yenya yes bia ye voting. You cannot hold Togo identity card to register in Ghana, and vice versa. That one is established. The problem, no question is say the patrol, police, soldiers at the Akugu border. From where I sit and what I've seen, the wars that we have covered, we've seen, we've lived in before, and other countries, I think say the port called the security port is overheated. Which in my view, sorry, but I don't care whoever it hurts. It is unnecessary exercise to some extent. Respectfully, yes, the country has the right, say, to protect it, the frontiers. The timing is also a factor that we have to, because there was an issue, there was a question raised before this registration exercise. So if the timing was raised, exercise said, yes, say, perceived, say all Togolese no at border ni nyina no there be on be register Ghana no ma beto omwia no mako. Let's say ebia sida anase ebia na ebisi. But I'm asking myself a simple question. Is that not this Ghana that we are seeing, say, a beacon of democracy?
Yeah.
Is that not this Ghana and your 63 years? Is that not the same Ghana and a sub-Saharan Africa or independence? Until today, 63 years. Should the country indeed be going through voters register difficulties, problems year after every 4 years? Do we need that? Really, are we really a serious nation? Are we to be taken serious? Democracy is not to prepare the thumb of the people to go and vote. Queue, voters register, call it electoral democracy. And then if he says the concentration, but it's not. Democracy in its effect, at the women I get me, the freedom, the humanitarian, the economy, a whole lot of things comes into when you say that it's a democratized nation. But say if it is a democratized nation, I'm not looking in the context of only election, but I'm looking in the context where I have my human right and you have your human right. That comes into the package of democracy. The result that we have. The intentions might not be bad, but the application turns out to be bad.
So we're in application, no bad.
An application is a combative battalion, inland. Get it clear. Combative battalion, inland, military, police, with all due respect, all in armed gear, face masks, helmet, covered, everything. When it happens like that, one, yes, of course, there are kids, there are women, there are whatever. Some people are raising the argument of intimidation.
Yeah.
The argument is that some people have not seen that combative front before. But I'm also saying, sir, there is no war on the borders. There is no what? War. There's no tribal uprising. There is no chieftaincy uprising. There is no coup d'etat. There is no rebellion operations. There is no Al-Qaeda operations. There is no separatism. There is no Boko Haram. There is no Ansawad. There is no Ansadin. There is no Mujahid. There is no Mujahideen. Call it. There is no Amazonian that is operating on the border, which means within the UN Charter, Ghana till today is still declared green belts. What does it tell you? We don't have operations of any military presence in our bush. And when we talk about our bush, we talk about the border lines. It's also part. We don't have any operation. We do not have any fugitives. Who are the fugitives? Say, yawo Ghanaian bi aye coup, and yawo Ghanaian bi awe disika, we Ghana kwashe Togo border. Now, all cause problems. He wants to come in, or they want to come in, so you can call them fugitives. So they are causing troubles. Do we have that? No.
I'm coming there.
I'm coming there. That's right. I'm coming there. So what we mean is say yeni sa nyemana. The only thing you employ, we are talking about active military participation, active battalion, and now say rebellion activities be a war border. Se wo koho, near see a COVID. Already your immigration that is effectively operating because His Excellency the President wa appraise immigration ene enkofo omchichi omni nyama omoye. Meaning immigration is on the ground. Immigration is a friendly service operators along every country border. So they live with the people, they know the people, immigration can do it. So I'm saying, say, what Ghana failed to do was to employ the services of intelligence instead of combative. That is why I'm coming. Okay. In matters like that, when you are dealing with national issue, inland, where there are no foreign or external aggression even coming in, Setogolese for and across Ukraaba, intelligence could have dealt with the matter easier than to have the combative men, i.e., timing, i.e., voters register will not agree, i.e., Supreme Court judgment, i.e., west of it, and I must say it again and I must highlight it, west of it, they say, if military operations, state apparatus are going on operation, they should even be the people to communicate to the people of Ghana. They should be able to tell the Ghanaians their intentions and why they are going there or what it is. They're supposed not to give me, you and I, their operational details. But there is also the need because a border to Nessa a normal internal, call it internal issue, and you call it a border patrol. They need to tell the state or they need to tell the country Ghana, say, oh, this is it. So let the military or the police communication come out. But when you get officials, government members, politicians speaking to the subject on the subject, say, a bimu free habeto. I'm sorry, no politician in this country is the mouthpiece of the Ghana police. No politician should speak for Ghana military. No politician should do the PR. Because yatibim say or kasa like he or she is part of the design of the combat team na omdum kohol. Operational details are police. Operational details are military intelligence, BNI, are getting me, immigration, fire service, and all the paramilitary groups, headed and coordinated by national security. Me pacho, yantes a national security coordinator no, abekasa. But you are the coordinating council. You are the coordinating member who is putting all this, in my view, into force. Into police, Berman operational details. Military Berman operational details. And national security are coordinated, say, Mumwa you now will coordinate saying. But yante bibia, we heard overnight say, there is already an arrival of combative men and women. Then there follows up political speeches. And I've said this country, whoever is watching, whoever is listening, politicians cannot, this particular country, cannot put this country, Ghana cannot be at war. No. Regardless of whatever is going on.
But see, politicians, we are taking sides.
This is not the first time politicians.
This
is not the first time politicians of this country, because of their stomach, their greed, they've triggered this country. The trigger will not shoot. It will not fly. Ghana is not in there. We get into that as the program goes on. Ghana cannot. We can't slip into tribal war. We cannot slip into anything. Politicians, let them give their speeches. I'd call it empty speeches. Because if military and indeed police and ECO, to me, as I've said, and I'll remain and I'll keep on saying it was a complete, that kind of machoism, military machoism, police machoism, the presence of security apparatus in Iran, yes, with all due respect, for me, I would say it was unnecessary exercise. They have intelligent men or the intelligence within this unit.
It could not be say intelligence, you know. The Omar gather and I'm a call for this reinforcement. To say, so yes, na
KOFI.
Intelligence, I can't almost say, Charlie, registration in Tinkofu, Udamuba Pao. Ya nye hu bibia ebe say intelligence na bema that fella no ama soja for go say
politicians can trigger their own intelligence, fake ones. And politicians have all the time tried, as I said, overheated the pot of security of a country. Politicians, when it comes to electioneering year, they can do anything. But I'm saying, say, Ghana is noted to be one of the best intelligence nations when it comes to security. Say you call foreign services, near call military exercises in other countries, they perform creditably well. And I'm saying, say, what kind of intelligence that this country's security profile, I know I said interview what I said. Ghana does not even know their security profile. Let us know the security profile of this country. A country of 30 million, our most wanted person was a common criminal. Atayi for several years. The ransom money on his head was 2,000 Ghana cedis. Do you call that country, say, or security a threat? No. But of course, every country has security threat indirectly. But we have well as a country coordinated and behave very well. The tribes, regardless of our tribalistic system that we have, regardless of your clan, regardless of our ethnic background, any confusion, especially when you go to the north. KOFI is so much with the minority tribes. A tribe in Ibuokwana, Buzanga, they be quite 3,000. The whole tribe. But we have always lived side by side without any problem. We've lived side by side without any religious problems. And if there is something that has happened, or the intelligence even pick, say Togolese or whoever is crossing to the border. What about those also coming with the argument, say, not say Burkina border as well?
The defense minister and lecturer say Honso Modi soldiers need be called.
Matthias here, but it could have been because that argument has come to bear. So what they call, and if I were to be part of the security system now, and you want to be diabolical and very trickier, all what you needed to do, send 3 battalions, Burkina border, the western border of Côte d'Ivoire, and then the Togolese border. Can't be anyhow. Are you getting me? So what say after now we deploy troops? I'm no more call Burkina. I'll call it afterthought. It was a bit too late. So you allow the gap, and you allow anybody to reason, like some of you, some of us, and some of everybody reasoning, because say Obian control mo. In any case, the police operations commander is a Voltarian. Mr. Yohonu, Ghana police operations commander. So he knows the area. So what was his details? In the Ghana military, there are a lot of the hierarchy, top men, are Voltarians. What did they say? How did they advise the government? Immigration, about 45% of the immigration force in Iran, they are Voltarians. What did they also tell the government? Especially those on the borderline. Their job is not only to be there to stamp passport, no. Also to oversee other cross-border actions, operations, where it needs, the nation has to call military, they call. But when they can handle, these are typical and purely immigration issue. Crossing over the border, scaling over the border, non-combative. It is immigration issue. So the government could have even hide behind immigration. With plainclothes men, increase and amplify your security personnel on the borderlines without any presence of military. But come to think of it, metro men, and I've heard, I stand to be corrected. It could be true, but then exaggeration is also part of what the people in the Volta are also playing. Say, without due respect, some of them are complete lies. much as one or two might be true. We've seen videos, people are being brutalized. In all respect, with all due respect. I'm saying, sir, the country hasn't gotten there yet. This issue is an issue of lack of intelligence. The country could deal with the issue without any kind of hula baloo and this action. The country should have dealt the issue without any politician talking. The country should have done the issue without any politician making remarks, making unnecessary comparison. Because if the military is moving to the Volta, yes, of course, you are going to protect the border. Yes, of course, for what? To protect the exercise of voters register. Amen. Salaam alaikum. What about Burkina? Send the military. We have 5th Battalion in Tamale. And Katama, we mo kohono. Oh, okay.
Well, and no one did them, but in the press conference, you know, Minister ka say, oh,
we have not heard because the border no sabi nipa etete border no ho. Your northern maintain say obi aka say Damango ana Sankase ana Eboko your military presence ho maintain. Maintain bi Olubo. And maintain bi so wo Brahafo region that Bengo domain maintain because what be. Then TB. And I know there it shouldn't be an excuse, but the whole trigger point and it said politicians of the other side of the government, let's say the government politicians of the government side, in matters like this, we call it very sensitive issue of state. Don't make remarks. And my difficulty with Ghanaian politicians is they want to be heard on air at any time. They want to be on camera. They want to be interviewed. They want to articulate their views. Because in life, the more you speak, you make a mistake in matters of national interest. Because if you do not take care, you'll slip. Ebina, say, Mr. K.T. Hammond, your intentions, how does it happen? Say, anytime a Ghanaian politician be a Beka Sebiano, say, the people took me out of contest. Please, and please once again. You know they will take you out of contest. The people will not be in your belly to understand what you mean. What I hear is what I interpret, and what I hear is what I analyze, and what I hear is what I digest. So digestion, analyzing, it's up to me to take whichever. And you gave me the value and the trump card to decide what I'm deciding. Who are you to tell me, said you're walking, and yes, I'm walking. So for me, I think, say, the speech or speeches made by politicians, say, Ichamasum say, majority leader, Mr. Sechemen Sabonsu. I say, by the time you bear registration, you be no. What I say, NDC cannot win election. You our registration exercise. Let it not be correct. If indeed it was, and you are the majority leader of a government that is existing now, you do not at any time make such remarks. Because whenever it's near and close to elections, there's what is called agitation.
Well, it's a say no. They believe in your voters register ne ohono. Our home, enti ye ahoho na afrim. Ne anya Ghana for na omo ato aba no. Ahoho na ewo mu no utie KT am statement na. Says ye jai na nkofo e cross free to go be register. Ene ye anya voters register for kra na nkeye. So ema wote ase the reason behind the KOFI. New voters register say, okay, how one a woman in the EU more free.
KOFI, Mr. KT Amando, a Minister of Interior.
There be.
That will bust up the issue. Is he a Minister of Interior? There is an issue of Minister of Interior of a state, country Ghana, red, gold, green, black star. It's not a politician in the parliament. No. When it's about interior issues, allow the interior ministers to speak. If it is about defense, allow the defense to speak. If it's about security detail, allow the people responsible for the security detail. Because you know what it is? The confusion here is that where I sit and what I see and what I believe took place was that even the military and the police, there is no way Ghana police, I'm saying it again, regardless of all the involvement of politics, them say, you do operational details, you call people on the border of Volta. It will never happen. Not a professionally minded person like Mr. Yohonu that I know. He can never do that. But when they're on the ground, then Ghana, as they call it, order from above. the same politicians will effectively, not efficiently, effectively tell them, this is what we fair, this is what people have to do. But I'm asking myself, sir, the voters register card, I feel say ya import so much of foreigners in Italy. About you, and then I Ghana being independence. KOFI ene.
Debbie.
And he said, what down to who be one egg presume a pampa who say, we need the beacon of democracy and the entry point of the Africa, gateway to Africa. What country be Botswana? What home electoral resource? What the problems? Election it be. What country be to say Namibia? What any problem or other? There be Zambia money at the they've made very well. Share Mozambique. After the fall or when they killed Samora Machel. Frelimo, if you remember the Frelimo, these were rebel organizations fighting independence. Unlike Diana, now already a declaration, a law and an agreement, and ya pay independence, they share in some countries no more fighting for independence. When it comes to matter of security, they are very calm. When it comes to matters of election, they are very calm. What is said, there is an electoral challenges of voters register of a country like Botswana. What be that? No. Several countries on the African continent in KOFI won't say. And we are saying, say, we've taken democracy. We are saying, say, we do not tolerate military rule. We are saying, say, ye jai sa kind of dictatorship nina. And this what jai sa nina. Now utimi ko jina International Forum of the World say Ghana democracy had come to stay and we have advanced and Ghana had won a lot. Our democratic dispensation, any electoral dispensation, we are one of the best. Is that what we need? No. We don't need that. Because what did they mention? We do not need that. What we need is sanity. Mission civilité. Mission of civility. It's what we have to employ. And it packages everything. So how do we go to the border? And if even Togo is even your target, now say K2 South, you know. Ebi muso so utie media radio airwave ebi say one of them say Mr. Ketiaman one of them mentioned say time na near election no yeah first Professor Mills na yeah first round no 35 day afenu call round 2 no now 120,000 so che bantuma. Whose fault is that? It's the fault of all you Ghanaian politicians. What do you sit? What laws do you make? 270 men lawyers, all of them, about 80% being lawyers. What laws do you make out there? That we can't get a simple voter's ID card for a country. KOFI, there is this problem that happened in La Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. That plunged a country into crisis. And it has to do with the same thing. Nationality. Even though I've said, and I'll continue saying, say, Ghana hasn't got the indications, not in this time, not of our time. Say, yeah, Bekun, and our country, Bekun. Take it. I'll grant interview on daily basis ahead of the elections. Say, Ghana is not prepared and Ghana cannot slip into war. Politicians can come and say, how many are there? There are 275 parliamentarians, one president, how many cabinet? The whole of them, box them, and no ministers, and 1,000. They cannot decide the fate of 30 million Ghanaians. We are not prepared to go anywhere. Look at the story of La Côte d'Ivoire. Félix Houphouët-Boigny was an Ivorian president, post-independence, first president. The French prepared him to bring him to La Côte d'Ivoire to be the president of Ivory Coast. He was a president. When he became old, Côte d'Ivoire at a point, the economy slipped into recession. They were indebted. And he was always going to IMF and always going to your friend is saying World Bank for loan. At that time, Alassane Ouattara, today's president of La Côte d'Ivoire, was a director of IMF or World Bank. Yes, I think World Bank, deputy director. So they said that Nasa wu ofo ya aba hadabian. Oh, a citizen of Wahab. Wayeden, ordinary director, is well endowed in economics and then finance. And then Omebuamo. What can I mean too bad? So Houphouët gracefully accepted, say, Alassane Ouattara prime minister. So he brought him to La Côte d'Ivoire. Alassane Ouattara was born in Burkina, but his parents had been farmers. He was raised in Côte d'Ivoire, schooled in Côte d'Ivoire, everything was good. So he was holding Côte d'Ivoire national identity card. Are you getting me?
Okay.
It was not out of bounds and Ofoi Kofa and then be prime minister. But the Cote d'Ivoire governance system is not like ours. President Niwa, vice Niwa, speaker Niwa, chief justice Niwa, Kwakodu at auditor general, who is the fifth in the role. Omo the speaker of National Assembly, the speaker of parliament, or no, and a representative president. At that time, Cote d'Ivoire, time and economy struggle no Kofa last and Ouattara Bayen, or the Kona Bedie, who was his political son, not biological son, and or didn't call here Cote d'Ivoire ambassador to Abidjan, to Washington, to prepare him. So he pulled him out when he realized why he owed, and or didn't be here Assembly Nationale, because no one was an energy dwindle. Alassane Ouattara was prime minister, and or the Bedie by. Enti Owe Yana Bedie sleepy step in a president of Cote d'Ivoire. And Bedie was always clashing with Alassane Ouattara. Listen to this instruction, this is politics. Yeah. On any clash there be. So Kona Bedie changed the Cote d'Ivoire constitution. And say, qui est Ivoirien? Ivoirité. Who is an Ivorian? The question or the discussions of an Ivorian, Ivoirité. Then he defines that Ivorian is somebody whose mother, mère et père, mother and father, to the Ivorians. Just to kick Alassane Ouattara out. So he used that to confuse Ivory their party PDCE, Cote d'Ivoire Popular Party, no, and now Omuninako vote. So Alassane Ouattara was rendered more or less stateless. So he has to go back. And now Kona Bedie after the death of Ofoi. So Ivoirité, mère et père, mother father, ça. Enti Edru baby no. Now the northern Ivorians in feel said no. Dear Kona Bedie, it was not fine. And we are all Ivorians. Or a prime minister into he would have been buried with the Ivorian flag. So how do you send him out of the country? So when you're Ivorian. But Alassane was quiet, so he left. And now Omo plot to coup. Robert Gay and Koulibaly. Omo a planning coup. So they descended on Kona Bedie in Abidjan and Omo overthrown. Just purposely, just to show himself, no, we are all Ivorians. Omo too no. The military decided that was the first coup d'etat of La Côte d'Ivoire in 1999. They planned said they will stay only 3 months. Omo sanya election no for. Na Alassane Ouattara nya kwame join. What you say? Into Alassane beba ye manema. Then Robert Gay decided say he would not leave. Wa pesiti no. And Koulibaly said no, that's not how we planned it. So they ended up killing Robert Gay. Into killing no. New year no. And say another election. And then a man Laurent Gbagbo from nowhere obe slip through and obenya Cote d'Ivoire presidency. Onu no one would have thought say no be safeguard Alassane Ouattara. No mean a unity government. Or by our non so be introduced Ivorian is mère ou bien père. Either your mother or your father. And they are Ivorian. What does it mean? It means that Nimi no. I used to memu biem Alassane Ouattara mem. Also the other band to try 10 years na bekono. When 10 years na nwie. Then the northern Ivorian boys headed by Soron Guillaume from the north, Boaké up to Danoa, the northern part. And Omunina plot to the we will not let Laurent Gbagbo have a peaceful governance. Interfere or country not divided in two. For almost 8 years, now Laurent Gbagbo, one for north, and also to south and the west, and the interior, and why the presidency. And when they lead into the elections. Mère ou bien père, mère et père. In the time Alassane Ouattara and Adrian said no. Soron Guillaume said before so began talking, che ye elections, and my Alassane Ouattara become. So Gbagbo has no choice. Eventually he agreed for them to come. By elections, no, and then the arms in go. But elections in Vienna, first results, na second round, no, or say bono. Now are winning, no, and the mom descend on Cote d'Ivoire. Edi omu problem ba ya omkoche Laurent Gbagbo opungam. Alassane Ouattara eventually won. Share politics and politicians and their wickedness. Kona Bedia, who created the Cote d'Ivoire politics of nationality and who is an Ivorian. During the time, no, because say Laurent Gbagbo had a chance or punishing as a former president. Now, no, the same Bedia originated problem, no, or the Alassane Ouattara acquire fine back. Akotan hotel and the year call it a coup d'etat elections na the two Gbagbo. That is what a politician can do. Alassane Ouattara chat ni 80 and 10 years a year. They said the same Kona Bedia who supported Alassane Ouattara, even though he created the problem of Cote d'Ivoire for Alassane Ouattara, they say Ronususo started the same problem again. This is what a politician can do. I'm saying this to buttress the point. Say politicians.
A Ghanaian nationality. Serious.
Nationality is a bigger problem in African politics and politics. The same scenario, Joseph Kabila of Congo, ne papa Obekaya otu Mobutu Sese Seko. Okay? Joseph Kabila, almost originally they are Tanzanians. They live in Tanzania, they grew up in Tanzania. But ne papa no eko Johnny Museveni, any your friend is saying Rwanda, Paul Kagame, no nyina join Uganda army, and omdiko too Obotemo. But when they came back, no, I share Tanzania, Odi Adiasan, and Odi Bayeden, Odi Babetu Mobutu. Sean Raneba no. Okay, Kabila Jr. Ne papa bodyguard. Later, no, it was very clear, say, boy, no, na ma heading, ekum ne papa. In the name of politics, go back to Equatorial Guinea. Todoro Obiangema. Obiangema today is still the longest serving president on the African continent. Do you know how he came to power in Equatorial Guinea? Obiangema, he was directly the first president of Guinea Equatorial when they gained independence in 1975. Obiangema ne uncle, ne mother, or ne mother brother. And then Marcel Francois Nguema, the first president of Equatorial Guinea. Onwane uncle okuno, just to lead the country and no create problem. How can you, your mother's only brother, can you kill your mother's brother all in the good name of politics? So me, when it comes to politicians, I'm very rough. Because the ideologies, the synergies, the energies, their remarks, and what they say, at the end of the day, stomach development, not national infrastructure development. So if you want to develop your stomach, and develop your fat bank account, don't put me, don't put you, don't put them, the innocent Ghanaians, into a kind of a risk. And that is what Ghanaian politicians in the last 28 years have tried and tried and tried. But I tell Ghanaians that we should resist, not resist militarily. We should neglect them and let them do their own things. We don't need this. It is not needed. Yes, I understand, sir. You need to protect your borders and your frontiers. It is everywhere like that. When there is what? There's fire alert. Ghana has one long-term civil war between two chiefs. Just a pocket of people been in the bush over 30 years in Konya Alabanyo. Why didn't we put this combat in there to go and flash them from the bush? Have we done that? No. The only Ghana rebellion activity, or call it terrorism, ongoing from time that you and I, all of us were born, was Alabanyo in Konya. Our Mukratia Bofre. Your military no way. Your police no way. The military, the population of Alabanyo and in Konya Krom, you say. Nipa do send the bush. I would call Anopa. Mo battalion mo dukoi mo ko twada anu hia mo wura busha mo timichi omu nyina ya yom bibia. We haven't done that. So if we have to go and patrol our border, we could have done that with just an application of sensitiveness of applying efficiencies, not effectiveness of combative mood.
But me move to this angle of Wachina registration in Baso. The NDC has said, say, oh, kwa original line, or old voters ID card, nibia, court a rule say in but who will be a fashion home, or qua fedi dance. The question is, se oduru ho na ochire so ye Ghana ni na still so ye Ghana no yi card no e de kirew na se still wanya ntoma wanya nipa ma omani adanse a what becomes of that person. Now court ruling say apart from Ghana card and passport won't even register. Just say unya obi a owo any of this na ogina mu e de ma e di adanse ansa na wetumi register. And then me a simple way be
survey.
O check Ghana for ekura Ghana card, just a few. At the same time, o check passport Ghana ni so onye na dwen so betu kwan ya. Passport eya na enhye dan kan, you say bia or the atuna dwen so person otu kwan bi. Hardly will a Ghanaian go and say wakwa passport na eda no ho. Enti ochina I don't know how it will be. NDC say go in your numbers. MPP say go in your numbers. There is fear.
KOFI, interesting times ahead. Interesting times ahead, me say. If you look at it from the angle of what you are saying now, sorry, one would say, as a country, as old as we are, as intelligent as we claim to be, as smart as we claim to be, as clever as we claim to be, as efficient as we claim to be, democratic as we claim to be, KOFI, there is a country obi kura ne birth certificate issued by a competent hospital, competent clinic, just because we are even switching on a new birth certificate. Ghana rejects somebody's old birth certificate. So when you cry green birth certificate, you are not a Ghanaian. This is a country where somebody gets a birth certificate when it's already 70 years. So throughout the years, the person is not declared Ghanaian. So with this, with all fairness, with all due respect, with the Supreme Court judgment, which all of us we abide, surely NDC cannot change the laws of the Supreme Court if the decision had been mandated. Say, this is what they want. But on the flip side of it is that, like you said, KOFI between mini ayini bio.
Ghana card no.
Ghana card mini bio.
Ghana card me nye bi.
Mini bi. And I'm a passport.
But one thing about me passport.
My passport so ayira.
Hey.
Enti
ne otiache. Brother me could dance here ma.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That is where we have to look at it from. Say, me, KOFI, this election are interesting. You know what the interest is? I'm looking at scenario, say, good number of Ghanaians, certainly they will not have the voters card.
Yeah, they will not have either of them.
And then good number of Ghanaians do not have the Ghana card. If anything that is common now, it should be the voters card. Yeah. The national ID. And one would say, the number of the national ID more or less will determine how many people will register. But I'm looking at KOFI dynamics, eventualities, difficulties that awaits the country Ghana in this particular exercise. It's a real test. What it is. Because said voters registration under 1 month or 2 months exercise in the end. Now you have only credible voters, eligible voters of only 5 million, representing 30 million populated country. Would the Electoral Commission go ahead with the elections or not? And if they go ahead with the elections, would they now say only small numbers now? Would they come out to say they didn't have enough and therefore they need time to extend? No. Let us all be fair to ourselves as a nation. Let us all be fair to ourselves. Say we have COVID confronting us. Let us all be fair to ourselves. Say I know and you know. Say good number of Ghanaians will not go and join the queue to register. So the numbers will decline and come down. We will not get good number of people with even passport to go. And let us not forget, passport has been a document of the middle class Ghanaians. Yeah. How many of them? How many of them will go and join this queue? Airport, cantonments, Nyaneba, Laboni, Osu area. You're talking about Airport Hills, Airport Heights, East Legon, West Legon, near that. Papa, numbers in the Kitwa. Do you get it? Numbers in the Kitwa. The story will not be different from Takrade middle class. It will not be different from Cape Coast middle class. It will not be different from Ashanti region middle class. So therefore, Oma enya national ID no. I was looking at it, say, if the national ID was the basis, if you listen to me, if the national ID was the basis of the election for the voters card in India, then you didn't need a voters card. If the passport is the document to give the eligibility, then you didn't. So let the Ghanaian then say, considering the time no, too short, let rather the national ID serve. And then I brought here.
Okay, so of course, national ID now trouble. You don't have to get another card.
I don't get it. I don't get politicians. So what's it national ID no?
And are they
to get another card which is called voters ID there. The national ID no some the passport in the Crimea. I'm entitled to vote. What is the point? So rather no, there should be no voters ID. Voters ID registration to cost the country time, to cost us money. Rather than 9IA national identification exercises, they should have accelerate and do an overlap. Because we believe with the system, the information I will put in there, say, for who want me room. And assuming say how want me room. And a coffee and you be used to there. What is the point of voters ID?
I get your point.
Do you get it? Technical reason and wisdom reason.
Because it's a data, our system.
Data.
National ID, your TIN number is in.
Yes.
Everything about you is there.
A lot of people could also be holding passports that they are not Ghanaian citizens. What about that? So if they're judgmentally, that one is agreed to be used here, it means that considering the time, no, I can go and vote with my passport. I can go and vote with my voters national ID. So rather, no, can you say time no 2 months na can all this voter ID, court no, in Kayenya the enhancement and upgradement and fast track the issuance of the voters ID. Masa Kofi, issuance of the national ID. And ka trouble ni to chat. But we buy another exercise, Kofi, it will hit a rock, it will hit a snag in some areas. So that flashpoint is what I'm asking, say, is it necessary at all? So there were 2 documents there. We should have used any of them to go and vote. To go and vote. That is not what we're doing. Because the national ID card is a biometric. Is that not it?
Yeah, it is.
With your fingerprint and other data.
Yeah.
And when they plug in your number, it puts your picture out. What is it different? All what you needed to do is to transfer the data and give to electoral commission. Now, use data, national data. I get me. Recognize with the information with one another. Go think a problem missing. We don't need all these things. And can you come back to Volta? You see, you begin to wonder and ask, what normally goes into their reasoning and their decision making, with all fairness and with all respect to them, as honorable members. What goes into that? Either way, either this or that. So if it is this or that, there, use one of them to go and then cast your vote. And you can say no anke kase no, enke NIA, afi no more Eastern region. How are you going to do the 2 side by side? Obi kwa kwaji national identification card and sign or babedi voters ID card. So what kind of exercise is that? You put a stress on the people. The national identity card, do you get it? Me koye be 3 months in me hu baby kram ebi am koye no kwa no yes center no ko mapon wo ma ho biem. Do you understand? Do I have to follow? I cannot get time to chase it around. Enti bebe na nipa beji national ID card. Oh, villages. And san no asaba be san voters ID card ho lie. Abra ne farms on koye, abra come de no, abra COVID esusu esa face no. When they bring time to turn around left, right, center. But we take laws and we make decisions only to benefit. One more fee said, or what kind of beko, a dinner rebeko, a dinner babeko, obetimenya preferential treatment, obetima fre, amiakase, way bamuman register. That is how you make the decision of a country. On the disadvantage of the margin, the greater population, which I believe said it should not be the way governance has to be applied. It is not should not be the way I say your body politics. I think there are a little bit of excesses. There's a little bit of inconsistencies because we share the whole thing now. You hardly find it difficult The government may have good intentions, but I'm saying, say, almost sanitize it, near simplify and near ma. Yeah. KOFI, there any let this year another 2024, the 2020 election, 2024 mra, a new government or the same continuing government. This same issue, ebesaba. The country is always borrowing to do elections. The country is not borrowing to fix our hospitals. The country is not borrowing to give birth to our pregnant women. The country is not borrowing to give money to kids, to clear the kids from the streets of Accra. KOFI now begging, oh, Accra streets so. Shankra at the ages of 2-3 years, their mothers have thrown them on the street of Accra. KOFI driver and every traffic light, you are careful, what the car be fed pass. Have we not seen that? Should that not be the national issue or sensitive issue of country interest? Rather than some politicians always fighting and talking about just elections, electoral processes, voters' card, etc., etc. Is that what we voted them to power to do? I mean, we voted them to the parliament. How do they represent us as the constituents? What do they give us? You understand? Because what we understand politics and governance is that when I give you my vote, you give me back the government. How do you give me back the government? You give me back the government so that I will have a say. You give me that the government so that I can have a sleep. But all in the good name say, you be control border, you be patrol your border. We only wake up in the morning and everywhere is green, everywhere is blue, everywhere is black. And even ideally, and the police in any Western society, any Western government, they go what is called, you apply the friendliness or the friendly approach. What does it? That is the Holland approach. And ka police for crack of one so mu kon come white shirt in share. Nanka omunya day, omunya relax, the people will feel relaxed. Now omunya no master the stand pad aside that she show them. Not would they your friend say camouflage a cap no aside the weeds in ya de aguso. When you ana kokontokwa. When you ana kokontokwa. But with him, the fear and the danger of it. When the stimulation of the anger becomes excessively high and higher, do you know what it means? What it comes? It gets to a point over now a certain elements within the combat troop, the combatants in a domako go on, and also the military deployment. Obiako village be no akobu obi mami. He is within the group. And to domo ye normally, as I know and as we all know, say I cannot sit here and say troops na kwa and Voltarian boys ni bebrebe. But because say omu every village is na yebehu omu ntino, they forced to cover their faces. But the trigger point of where some of the countries had their war, they had their breakup, was the fact say obu ohwa okọ in the name of the government. Government na man ko exercise. But ya bu ni krom fo no obi akobo no maame. Ni yonko ni colleague akogo no maame. When it turns around that is the explosion. And it's very common. It matters like this. You cannot take Ghana 3,000 policemen and women without Voltarians. A lot of them are in there. You might be surprised that there are even more. But because they are working under instructions. But mobin kwabu baku mame. No one say Nicole gibi na abone mame. And Nicole gibi na pre nunia. Are you getting me? We call it the destinies. It changes. The destiny changes. So we have to be very liberal and very calm, quiet, cool. And politicians, and I expected, let me say, President, the my speech you made.
Yeah, you made.
My thinking was that the president would have called off.
Oh, election.
The operations.
Registration. Okay, so you have what they are.
Yes. He needed to call it there. We're interior. We are Ghanaians. We are inside Ghana. Just send your detectives. Give them accommodation in the village. Give them accommodation. Resource the migration. What do you do?
Exercise. Everybody watching and going.
Drone. This is a drone. How much does it cost a drone to monitor your patrol your border? How much? A drone to patrol a border, 100 mile stretch, 100 mile stretch. That border doesn't reach 200 miles. From Aflawo to the other side. It's not up to 200 kilometers. Into a problem, they say. Employ the service of drones. And the immigration officers can even sit. Are you getting me? How long does it take if you're moving a troop, a battalion or group from Ho to that place? How long does it take to move people even from Pando to that place, to the border? How long does it take to move from Dabala or Sogakope? How long does it take? Until you don't need to physically put the men there, let them sit back and control the border. Today's modern intelligence sourcing or patrolling, every country does that with drone. Until what you quietly say, Muhu say exodus. And then you send your field intelligence officers inside. The rest of the job will be done by electoral commission. They have their model, they have their plan, they know how the kind of questions to ascertain. Say, or you're gunning here now, you're gunning. As simple as that. Troops in any train.
All right.
KOFI, you're a cross-tribal country. Tribes in here, basa basa. Ghana, a United Nations. Greater Accra. KOFI guys here, Namani boys. Oberfano, especially from the last 28 years. And then when you date it from the revolution era of His Excellency John Joy Rawlings up to today, if you look at the marriage between Fantis and Ewes, it's the highest in the country, cross-tribal. If you look at the cross-tribal marriage between the Kwaus and then the Kwapims, it has existed over the years. If you look at even the Akans, the Chifo, Kumasi, even with Ewesa, it is very much there. In Accra, Ubenya Accra Bako, United Nations blood, Kwawum, Volta womb, and how many of them even know their hometown? And if you want to force and trigger this country, it can never work. Reason is that you cannot bring the Hutu Tutsis, you cannot bring the Ndeleve, the Shonas, you cannot bring the Moshis and then your friend is saying the Fulanis. You cannot bring the Fulanis and then other tribal settings in Guinea near the Adeno, where they have a strong line. Ghana, no, it is very dynamic, very controversial. Even in the north, where you have straight lines of the minority, because they have a lot of minority tribes at the top, no. Still, it cannot escalate. Kokombane na number 4 kon. Ayentima escalate. Gushi ni kusasi kono. Kusasi ni gushi for. Obi anko, tamaleni onko. I get me. Gonja ni ayi kwa frafra ma dagate ma wala ma. And here we are well preserved and well positioned, sir. Your tribes, you're not violent. But the politicians, and they're violent. We should shame them. But here, up to today, Ghana cannot have a third force party to break in and suppress and put down these two parties. So old time politics, are those in your bread. We are not getting that. Then I challenge the youth, including you and Ghanaians. Say, where is the youth empowerment that Ghanaians? That we cannot stand up and say, not stand up violently, but we can say, stand and tell them, yeah, to my way, young pay independent candidate, so that they will learn common sense. Ghana have practiced a politics, democracy of elitism from the post-independence till today. And the difficult thing of this country politics is that it is one of the countries in the whole of Africa, post-independent, the very day Ghana independence, any opposition. No country in Africa got that. They won 1957 as a cease march, and that very day Ghana had an opposition. That is where we are. Into democratic dispensation away. And the youth are sitting there. And the sad story, the most sad story of it is that all the Ghanaian youth who enter politicians, they are thieves more than the old people on Kotu. They are corrupt more than old people on Kotu. If they were there and no more articulate your views, a campaign for us, we will not. Where are the boys in the parliament? The young boys that joined the politics in the last 15, 20 years. How? You don't hear their voice. Almost sorry, Mr. Speaker. The same old tone of funny politics. I don't know how they learn. I'm sorry, with respect to them. But we have to tell them the truth. We expected an articulation and change. And I've always mentioned, look at the rebel leader of Ahmed, of Ethiopia. Why a rebel leader then you should in the country, bringing the two parties together. Now, this is the way Ethiopia is going. New life, new vision, new political destiny. And all parties in Yinano, Oma Fori Yinano, odumu nyina ma edin. The youth is controlling the country. See prosperity. Yeah, the other what for young boy be akọ politics no abegina ho no akoye ne law Ghana nkwa na onye lawyer untimi nkọ parliament no akoye ne law no aba ye vote man wie ya that is the end or the constitution for wie baby oto a woka ewe no odu ne village brofo no kan baby oka twi no English no kwa mpehye nhye da ma why dey no oka brofo akese just to confuse the people. Do we need that? No. And look at our streets. Shakaneshi market KOFI. Look at all the roads in Accra here. And politicians are still telling us, turn around and go and check on your street. It's unprecedented. Better than before. Look inside your pocket. Unprecedented. That bush English. Unprecedented in Yamanu. When are we going to change from that? When are we going to change from that? Ghanaian youth must start and stand. And it's time for them to vote and vote these two parties out. They should vote them out. The country needs to advance. We don't need to go back all the time. How many Ghanaians should be continue dying on the Mediterranean? How many Ghanaians should be suffering? Our country, our nationals, our youth, our strong economic, the IPs, intellectual property, omina could be outside the country. Your system encourages them to run away. Your system allows them to run away. Obia. And I've mentioned and always mentioned. When education system intimidates people to run away. Obi passing mathematics one pass here, hey. Obi failing English, hey. Anwujafo. Joachi, Kongo deni jamo. Wa failing maths is the subject now failing. Do you understand? Into no or choose see no, baby or park ne Libya. So betwa Libya no so called Mediterranean. Officer none is hope.
Dear by the flower pot.
Yes. You understand? And we don't have any alternative. The only alternative is any white man's country. Is that how we are born? Is that what we have supposed to do as a country? KOFI, and I've said it and I'll say it again. Ghana is still 10 times richer than the United States of America in terms of resources. No country. Unbeatable. KOFI, unbeatable. Commercial volumes of all the resources are Nyamidiwe. It's over 10 resources. Commercial volumes. Country be the granite and the other in the country. Now sit all the minerals we say so. Ma bota na mo year elections. Ma bota na mo year laws. The laws ni na wia. Na nipa 275. O mu nyina sa abe judgment debt. Ye mistake. Na we must abege now. Time a year elections no. Ye pass bill no mbrofo no. Na mi ni ho. Oh. Kofi Adoma.
It's sad. It's sad. Na do baby a issues in some how Bruce when him say this card now you use any of them to register for another card I yes be ho kan o kan ya fe na abia ma dwen ko ho
because nobody has thought of it.
So if we can have one card as a Ghana card until every card where we stay, our tax, everything. And we can use that to vote. But we need another card. That card does not capture our TIN number. OSHA form, no sir. It just covers your parents, where they are from, and all that. Meanwhile, the Ghana card is more powerful than these cards. Now we can use that to vote, and we have to spend another money and cause tension.
And KOFI, you know what? It's thinking, why are these two parties, believe women and no more politicians? I don't even know how they reason. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Sir, more opposition. Who opposition? You've been in government. You also had an issue with NPP when they were in opposition over card. I was expecting, sir, when the issue of voters register came, no, and Kaoko Supreme Court, no, that you were going to challenge the Supreme Court, sir, if the Electoral Commission, KOFI, maybe who you say Electoral Commission were fumble big time, why a big mistake, but the politicians were not smart. I expected them say they should hold them say, okay, if that is the case, there with the passport or with voter's ID card, no, the person is a Ghanaian, the person can register. We don't need voter's ID card. Now you force the NIA, Kofi Adoma, to do them more. Now will be any voter a national identification card because it is assumed say it is the most sanitized card. Yeah. According to Professor Tifa.
No, ideally, because it's a card when you are taxer, you bet me a use.
Against
it is a card that has all your details. It is a just virtually car cry details should be captured into a car number plate. Police in yes I feel over original car name. I say hey stop who gonna quiet no Ghana
they are Tiabayasi.
Oh hey stop. Just picking your car number alone should make it simple. But we are still going back.
Kofi, it is a sad story. Sure, the whole West Africa. Sure, countries are what rebellion operations. Our happiness. Malinkwan rebel groups are our country near 14. Niger were about 6. Nigeria were about 2. Are you getting me? Terrorism in a rebel group. Cameroon will be. Burkina or about 6. Cote d'Ivoire still their remnants. Our waiting to explode. Are you getting me? Gambia or the problem. What did I say? Gambia will be. Senegal, war rebellion activity, Casamance rebels for 600 years. Oh, Kura. Sanema when you Guinea-Bissau, they have rebels operating live. We call it active live rebels. Including even in Europe. Spain were rebels. UK were rebels. Russia were rebels. Ukraine were rebels. Now there wouldn't be beer tisa. It's just a mere politics. I would say parliament now making law amanama or country or citizen neniaji. No one stop what tima try say or citizen ni be can room. What try say obetima sanitize with land acquisition law. O land laws are enye. Obi koto land a problem. Osi danya a problem. We need the whole country. City Accra. We need one single park. And what communities are obi say drain you me or ne bakra kohokra akototo ayukra man kra de agro. We need be. Kofi we need be. We need park. Our cities bebia. Ade. Dan yesi sa Kofi share trunk roads and for fast ko mu fie. Electricity no, water a problem. Ama Kofi ya artisans o kroma nyina excuse me nyina nyina dodo na sa dan akromfo. Then this is because obi nkoto cement mawa no awia cement half no they have or they are na chi no they the shirt asha so. Why do you admire the cement house we shweti? This is a country. Already nyango.
Yeah, we are finally on management of COVID. Baby I do no there. Kwata June no na ebe we ya wachina no. Na obia
COVID
says kwata by June there. COVID ya man say school for no omoko first track ne track yi omoko ache sanitizers health minister nya COVID ni bi education minister nya bi ambassador nya bi nti say
COVID adoma meka kakra mitimi ka bi
ka bi
COVID the center na no anu TV yo
ha na sha ase
but say the Java president then kwan na presidential speech on COVID ndi en ka bi COVID Ghana so obeka me no di nkomo of air said the biggest mistake we did was the fact say time na buy na school for no we supposed not to let them come home. Do you understand? With second circle institutions, it was already in February, entering into March. They were going to write exams. Some had even started numbered exams. What did you have to do as a country? Because United Kingdom, Germany, Holland, America, countries are then almost to two school munti forcibly. But if you look at how your schools were protected, no COVID had gone there. The teachers were there with them. Very few of the students were day. Those ones that were day schools, no more level, almost from 3 number, all what you're supposed to have done. And he said, what shall I crack car? Your form 1, form 2, and a form 3, in our boarding house. Form 2, form 1, for you will draw them. Form 3, final year students, no me day, no. You take them to occupy the situation at the school. Because what I say, now kawa barricade, mother and co, father and co. Are you getting me? Yeah. What are you seeking to attract? What you are doing is and students, you know, you create shifts, masters in Benya accommodation our campus. let the masters also go. Live there with them. Kofi said 2 months na dem kran be fie no. Enko bia wi exams be fie. Ko bia wi exams in be fie. Kofi Adoma, now you are sending Ghanaian schools. Nyame hu enkran ne mobo. Obetima social distancing. 2 bathroom 2,000 students. Ko presek mo ho. Na kokore presek. They queue to shit. Okay? Me ba church say. COVID is yes say we mistake we na gas out crowd you be nya be. What they say? Ko boy school. Hwane mo be student onya crowd school ma or say cockroach. How do you keep these boys, Kofi? You cannot keep them. Someone no be in kasa, they will not do it. The bed obefu akotan na dam for so. Wo de anwumre and their teachers no, chair the security the same military be ko school mo. School for nkran de masa. Onya rural campus ma. Also man mafie wate. How do you control them? And crying free baby be an eba. Obi akotan for 2 months, 3 months. We don't know where they are coming from. And we are being told that the figures are escalating. The kids are going. O command sanitizer. No I no a forehead scanner. What scan we need but then o carry. Okwa campus wa Kofi a botch outer. Fiankrani danger why and they jump. They are going to school, stay in the school for 2 years, 2 months. And to the kosher German, German second cycle institution, Holland second cycle institution, and your private school. They were not in the boarding house, they day schools. And for them it is right to call their students home. But what they need there, a greater number of schools in a boarding. So you could have created space for them. Mr. Adamatia said, you could have created space for them. I'm a day students in the journey home. That is why a country you think. Day students in a woman your borders, no, cabet me fidi woman. And we are now so to the ma woman idea, no. I they are to sanitizers, no. Sa sanitizer and a can airborne. Can you would have fed the day students from journey, no. The parents would have understood. Cut the parents off from visiting. A national law. Because of this, you know, them crying, you better show momo biama. Improve oma diane. Na momo mi exams. Ko finka krabia wi exams. So you don't follow the Italy. Ah, no day school. Now on for crime at Nefi. Now you are jumping them back. You couldn't hold. Na se akra ba ko edibiko dormitory hwa. How are we going to pick our kids? How is the government going to hold it? Handle the issue. The students' escalation. Have we thought about that? Sanitizer is not the cure. Forehead scanner is not the cure. Nose mask is not the cure. Akrabia no bit machine nose mask. 4 hours at a classroom. It's not possible. The teacher ni na mo already no. Ne mask no kwa nye. Tise kojo. Kojo mfama sa do man kro no. Ne mask no wabon. Anu asa kata ne hwene. Na mask master wabon. No asa kata ni nose no kasa. Geography master wabon asa kata ni nose. Or the thing na be she nose mask no. If you don't laugh. God, you're wicked though. Everybody am mobile keke. Kofi. Do you understand? Teachers need be abon. Enti under the cover of nose mask no. Or kasa ankra nti. Ankra ni busa question so e ma. What they say? Na nose mask esa dey exams Kofi.
Yeah, semo.
When you pressure that be 3-hour paper. What's akata on nose? Ankra ni bewu. Already. You see, you don't make laws. Following other countries, that makes you a democratic, let me call it a sovereign nation with sovereignty rights. Independent nation Ghana. Don't make your laws because Kosovo made their laws like this. Look at what it benefits you and what goes with your system. Mr. Adumama, when you want to say, look at what is with you, the ideals, the workables and the non-workables. Never your country law. Students in bed, it was quite risky. So them crying by than to have kept them. Because the big argument said day school, patch of Ghana school, they don't send a day school. In the day school, at their boarding school, remove them from 1. No baby, remove them from 2. No mumrefi. Never day for in uncle boarding house. Kofi koma exams na befi. Now no, and cut from 2 for betimako. I could prepare for promotion. And in a country, you need to accelerate and put national data. Say school crown and crown get their data because you don't know what happens tomorrow. Say so almost exams records, classroom records, mock exams records in your updated. They said the American for near they are doing my na. And can crown would have automatically teach an any picking data or himself crowd will say performance in what to me they promote room. Call this since now. Call this since ama. What did they buy class dormitory and crown here 120 and them. Kofi, send a home. How are you going to treat winning students? Kofi, what's our boarding house that?
Now they say 25 per class.
25 per class. Class and doing yes, a master's in yes. Masters in yes. O masters in yes. English masters in yes. Economics masters in yes. Science masters in yes. And the 25 per class and crime be back and a biako midnight in and classroom. If you look about the calculations that we put out there now, because we cannot consume the figures. And see, Kofi, and never shut down yes, we are really draining this country down and down. Or in the good name say, we are playing politics. You understand? We are playing politics. And it's not politics that takes a country to grow. We are playing and hiding under the name, under the umbrella of democracy. This is not democracy. This is not democracy. You give me voters card to go and vote without any dirty slap. It is not democracy. Democracy is whereby I have a good law, regulations, proper management of my resources, your resources. I go back to my street, not to expect, say, I'm going home, I'm going to sleep in the darkness. Whereby I say, Shakofi, Trunk Rose Accra. One they are crying. One they are crying. She streets of Accra. Accra is not only cantonments, it's not only airport. Accra is not only East Legon. Accra is Accra. Kaswai Accra. Now, even though Central Region, Dakuma Accra. Why do we leave some places out? Kofi, and you're the best.
I say I like him. Can I get his number and baby? But the number no so the head.
Kofi say me number. Who can say me number?
Walter Daniel, the number na head then why? Was it logic? If you know how to say it. You know Cosmos. Kwesiba. Was it our leaders don't really think about us? Okay, Emmanuel Kwame. Is it Nyanyo Ado and Otre?
No,
Nyanyo Ado. Okay. Was it we are not in normal times. The people must cope with it. Elvis and Otre and Obaye. We say, please stop polluting Ghanaians. Here in Korea, it is mandatory for everyone, including some of us who are not used to using face masks. We are not in normal times. Oheneba Daniels.
Oh, Oheneba. Nobody says we're in normal times, but I'll say that sometimes a lot of things are avoidable. We are talking about the children. Don't compare North Korea and don't call South Korea and compare Ghana. South Korea, your schools are day schools. The boarding schools are private schools. And it's a choice to take my son. Those who went to private schools abroad, they are all in school. They never came home. That is what we are talking about. Yes, in normal times, your friend is saying, Elvis, Elvis, Brown never turn classroom. Yet to say, I'm crying be. Never call lectures for 4 hours. If you are talking about North Korea and South Korea, or either heat and or air conditioning, what they compare Accra or heating or classroom, our pony and the Dian crocodile yet. Or potential heat match and nose marks. That's what we are comparing. Yes, we know we are not in normal times, but certain decisions could have actually helped than the way we took it. Nobody is condemning anybody, but sometimes we could have done a little bit more of consultations and get this done right. It's not pollution. It's a reality, and we must face it.
All right. Atade Shemi, designed by Abranti or board design.
Outside there.
David.
Yeah, in Ghana ha.
Ghana ha. And then nkofo fi say Ghana ha. Oye designs how.
You try am back when.
The number na me de be ma oba design obruta.
Ghana ni na ye.
Ghana ni.
Made in Ghana.
Oye university no say on the oba design.
But woman fa Zara mum.
On fa Zara.
Ghana for no share Anthony guess you.
Asemu. For the number no 0244 940 633 0244 940 wait me WhatsApp on we designs be our no obe design and nice na or them Regan Osu clothing opamo niema bruta entino for the number na ompamo ebi emfa ema sanso na pese o send sika e de Ghana from Europe tap send and no an American for e de amount say omode na use tap send never send the sika for brefie and we actually say open doors papa just say quality Ghana ha no open doors security doors ne we say na ya na adding if you ever add no add amount for one number na from ombema the dey tombo the odi wanimu hwe the different security doors and also no betumi enye bi na etumi aboa na Elmina Beach Resort sabre omo bie enti no mo ampesa mo holidays no betumi akọ omo use protocols ne ye everything BS omo ye bia no omo aye ne nyina fine enti kọ na kọ home kakra na entumi emwa Yerubesia thanks for watching us but final words
he said one country, one flag, one citizen, one nationality. This is where we all live and this is where we come from. We have no other country. But like some have already said, and we also continue to say the same things there. If anybody had had the chance to visit the war-torn nations, unless have experienced war, politicians should be down and calm down with a lot of the way you see here Niema. Now you're making sure, say, the expectations are Ghana for film it's not the political arguments on radios. It's not the political arguments of what we're seeing. We would have expected, say, good nation, stronger politicians, mindful politicians, they rather fight over how infrastructure was done and it was not properly done. They fight on how they will do the more and you did less. And yet how that I'll be elected as a leader, I'll be elected as MP and the other way around. That is not what Ghana needs. The country has what is called very calm citizens. Our support to the Ghana government to be relaxed because the engine of this country's economy had always been the private sector. The engine of this country's economy had been Ghana for while system upon could do abroad. They have supported this country. Without them, Ghana hasn't got a building. Without them, Ghana hasn't got houses. Because one kasamo houses, affordable housing, no, it's never affordable housing. There are places people cannot even go and access transportation. The individuals, they are the people that have made this country. The individuals, they have made the people that taxes and how to show a country. Whereas you have the resources to make the country, you are rather taxing your people to make the country. You've turned the country with resources into a service nation, which we don't need that. A country with volumes of resources, you've turned it to be a service nation, taxing the people, taxing the port, taxing the airport, taxing the entry, taxing individual necessary. Obia or Sopan, I will cry only 50 Ghana cedis capital, which means the tax money. That is not what we need. Make use of your resources. Liberate your nationals. Liberate your country. Liberate your citizens. Just give them. KOFI, how? Ghana cannot give a loan to a citizen to work. They give you a loan, they take 30% of the loan, they will eat the loan, and the people who collected that money, they come back and then collect, they want to harass you for the loan, for the country. Which country does that? When to me resource or private entrepreneurs, when to me a resource or companies, when to me everything they have to do by themselves. On top of it, you will not do the basics. Education, you don't want to defend it. You don't want to defend infrastructure. You don't want to defend the social services. You don't want to defend interior. You don't want to defend military. You don't want to defend anything. Everything that we are doing now, we are not interested. We are only interested in politics. We don't build any country with politics. But we build countries with management and good administrative system. That is how a country is built. That's how a country is built. KOFI, one mama chocolate in there.
Mama royal chocolate.
Sefa, last time we Jimmy chocolate, one for mami on. If you and Kamenya mama dear, you see, I talk even water crack with mama be chocolate. Me may yes will be anka some Congo water away.
Mama royal chocolate. Oh, the answer, broby.
KOFI, oh yeah, new.
Broby, and you say so.
Oh, wow, one can't James over interview. You just only
don't worry, bro. Oh, mama, I'm winning you na boosting immune system, bruta. Very good. Wow skin, no. I just Google and check chocolate, especially the Ghana, the cocoa.
This shirt Ghana in there.
Ghana in there.
What kind care do? That your friends is stove beer moon say. Yeah. There's a Ghana in there.
I saw me quite an interview over the weekend. Okumasi. Ghanaians, it's just
such a person. Now, share machines here, Papa Yaye, as a Ghanaian.
A better command for us. I made that interview. Nanko for who say, "Oh, when you are in Ghana."
So you cannot even give such a person to where say Kojina Kiumu, my bank for Webra, for Papa letter, for Papa birth certificate. Say management, we are sorry, we cannot give you. Look at what Ghanaians are doing. And think a country where say what kind of employment. These are people you resource them to employ them all. Yeah. What do you say? Nyame ka KOFI aduma.
Onka so ho. Ye do be sia yakra.
Adofo me chiamo. It is saying me din de ma me sewa na me wasem de bi catch. What a tap sending ka. There be. What's it say? Nana wo she ma men kan share way. Tap send app a betimi atwe agu phone so. Na wo ba bia wo Europe a wotimi send sika ko Ghana e koma wadofo ententem hona. Na se omo moji sika no so mo MTN so Vodafone Tigo ana se Airtel so a omo benya sika no ententem hona. Na de wo mu kra ne se fees bia anka ho. Untua fees bia and exchange rate no so was so kama. Me chose kakaka ho. Sa code we say a very special code. So yena say what download a good phone so we are. For sa code we to me charge £5 and answer €5. What dear fa free ponto obeko app store no wa hwehwe tap send. Charlie me say menye ja ho. Me say tapo na send it.
Hello, welcome to Yonak Digital. Here, we deal in security locks, smart locks, intelligent locks, which are ideal for corporate institutions, for banks, real estate, forex bureau, and many more.
Here at Yonak, we have a variety of locks. This is our facial recognition lock. This is our barometric lock. This is our little barometric lock. It's ideal for front aluminum glass doors.
You can locate Yonak Digital at Wager, SCC Junction off the DVLA Road. You can contact us on 0507 242299. Yonak Digital, security in style.
This boy is great. Nasha one sway. I hope Casron Kubia. You made it diagro. Brain syrup. Any anujieno. Brain syrup. It won't be an Robbie to say. Omega-3 fatty acids. Vitamins a P. And the glutamic acid. A woman mofra actually mudon. Nessa mawa pomudane. Brain syrup. Ubenya biwa drugstore. A bay womo. Nedu dromu die. Frejucard Pharmacy, one cry, Okaishi Drug Lane, 0244 560 296. Brain X syrup, Mamofra Adjinimapo Mudane, SCP, Esita. FDA, Ashesha, a Jadian Kratwimu, Ajiatumuse, Unauthorized.
ANS Trading Agency Limited. Yajma ya pay door-to-door courier service. I different London or hima chrome and I say Europe babia or pesa o shepo near my bagana no. Yajma ya say bio. Aya so better left-hand drive vehicles. A car to create a truck timber. I pesa different Europe e bagana. And I say o pesa by 20-foot container and 40-foot container duty. You didn't want to temper. It doesn't matter. Babia we ship container na free. So the free China. And I say Europe for now America babia pesa be ship biano. You bet my amount. Duty there, we are one of the best ever the whole Ghana. So per se unyaya and what you will be visit www.anstar24.com. We are the best.
Baby, you did run your man, your mamma, and Ghana mat away. So I'm returning out the so man for provisions, who pass what credits man. Then we so peso share DSTV bill and man, big help so your man from BR called www.ghanamat.com. They say it's www.ghanamat.com. Not that dear, and you feel quite Ghana Mat, your mamma is sharp.
Are you slammed using your computer, phone, or technological device? Let Slam Technologies be your preferred IT service. We provide IT training, career recruitment, job placement, and support. At Slam Technologies, we provide transformation with excellence.
Transformation with excellence.
Call us now at 054-687-5600.